On August 14, 2005, Helios Airways Flight 522 prepared for a routine flight from Larnaca, Cyprus, to Prague, Czech Republic. The day was like any other, with passengers boarding the aircraft, some excited for their journey, others perhaps weary from travel. The crew, experienced and professional, went through their pre-flight checks, ensuring everything was in order for the trip ahead. The Boeing 737, carrying 115 passengers and 6 crew members, took off under a bright summer sky. The weather was perfect for flying, with clear skies and a gentle breeze. Families, business travelers, and tourists settled into their seats, unaware of the impending doom that awaited them. None on board knew that a single, seemingly insignificant error would turn this ordinary flight into a tragedy. The aircraft climbed steadily, the passengers relaxed, some reading, others napping, and the crew attending to their duties with practiced ease. Yet, hidden within the cockpit, a small but critical mistake had been made. This is the story of Helios Flight 522, a chilling reminder of how a chain of events, set in motion by a misplaced switch, can lead to unimaginable consequences. The switch, part of the pressurization system, had been left in the wrong position, a detail that would soon prove catastrophic. The flight was scheduled to make a stopover in Athens, but fate had other plans. As the plane approached its cruising altitude, the cabin failed to pressurize properly, leading to a gradual loss of oxygen. The passengers and crew, unaware of the danger, began to feel the effects of hypoxia. As the plane climbed, a chilling series of events began to unfold unbeknownst to those on board. The pilots, confused by the alarms and warnings, struggled to understand the situation. The lack of oxygen impaired their judgment and ability to respond effectively. The stage was set for a disaster that would send shockwaves through the aviation world. The aircraft, now on autopilot, continued its flight path until it eventually ran out of fuel and crashed. The tragedy of Helios Flight 522 serves as a stark reminder of the importance of attention to detail and the potential consequences of even the smallest errors in aviation. The tragedy of Helios Flight 522 can be traced back to a routine maintenance check before the ill-fated flight. During the inspection, a critical error occurred. The pressurization switch was left in the manual position instead of auto. This seemingly minor oversight would have catastrophic consequences. The pressurization system in an aircraft is essential for maintaining a breathable atmosphere at high altitudes. By leaving the switch in the manual position, the system was effectively disabled from automatically adjusting the cabin pressure. As the plane ascended, the pressure difference between the cabin and the outside environment would continue to grow, leading to a dangerous and ultimately deadly situation. As Helios Flight 522 climbed higher, the consequences of the misplaced switch became terrifyingly apparent. Warning lights flashed in the cockpit, and alarms blared, signaling a critical problem with the cabin pressurization. However, the pilots, unaware of the maintenance error, misinterpreted the warnings. The pilots, already dealing with other minor technical issues, struggled to understand the barrage of alerts. Confusion reigned in the cockpit as the situation rapidly deteriorated. The pilots, their attention divided, failed to recognize the root cause of the problem, the innocuous-looking pressurization switch that sat in the wrong position. While the pilots struggled to make sense of the warnings, a terrifying scene unfolded in the passenger cabin. As the plane climbed, the cabin altitude increased, and the air grew thin. Oxygen masks dropped from the ceiling, but the precious oxygen they provided would only last for a short time. Panic gripped the passengers as they struggled to breathe. However, as the effects of hypoxia, oxygen deprivation set in, the initial chaos gave way to a chilling silence. Passengers, starved of oxygen, slipped into unconsciousness. The once lively cabin transformed into a ghost ship, filled with the silent suffering of those on board. Section 5. Ghost Plane, F-16, Intercept a Silent Sky. With Helios Flight 522 unresponsive to air traffic control, Greek authorities dispatched 2 F-16 fighter jets to intercept the aircraft. The situation was dire and time was of the essence. The jets took off swiftly, cutting through the air with precision and speed, their mission clear: to make contact and assess the situation. As the jets approached the Boeing 737, they witnessed an eerie sight. The plane flew on autopilot, a ghost ship soaring silently through the sky. The silence was deafening and the sight was unlike anything the pilots had ever seen before. The aircraft, devoid of any signs of life, glided through the air as if it were a phantom. Peering through the windows of the passenger jet, the F-16 pilots saw a chilling tableau. The scene inside was frozen in time, a snapshot of a moment of crisis. The pilots strained their eyes, trying to make sense of the surreal image before them. The cockpit was empty. The pilots slumped over their controls. It was a haunting sight. The lifeless bodies of the crew members, who had once been in command of the aircraft, now rendered helpless. In the cabin, passengers lay still, their faces covered by oxygen masks, frozen in a silent struggle for survival. The masks, meant to be a lifeline, now seemed like a cruel reminder of the dire situation. The passengers, caught in a tragic tableau, were unresponsive, their fates sealed by the unseen forces at play. The F-16 pilots could do nothing but watch in horror as the doomed flight continued its inexorable journey. Their training had prepared them for many scenarios, but nothing could have prepared them for this. The helplessness they felt was palpable as they flew alongside the ghost plane, bearing witness to a tragedy unfolding in real time. Section 6. A Hero's Last Stand, One Man's Fight Against Fate. Unbeknownst to the outside world, a glimmer of hope flickered amidst the tragedy unfolding on board Helios Flight 522. Andreas Prodromou, a flight attendant with some flight training, managed to enter the cockpit. Despite the lack of oxygen, he bravely attempted to regain control of the aircraft. Prodromou's valiant efforts, fueled by courage and desperation, were ultimately in vain. The plane, starved of oxygen and with its systems crippled, continued its descent. The final moments of the flight were a testament to Prodromou's heroism, a lone figure battling against fate in the face of insurmountable odds. Section 7. Unraveling the mystery the black box speaks. The crash of Helios Flight 522 sent shockwaves through the aviation world. Investigators immediately set to work, determined to uncover the cause of the tragedy and prevent similar disasters from happening again. The black box flight recorders, recovered from the wreckage, held the key to understanding the chain of events that led to the crash. The black box data, a chilling record of the final moments of the flight, revealed the pilot's confusion, the miscommunication, and the gradual incapacitation of the crew and passengers. The misplaced pressurization switch, a seemingly insignificant error, emerged as the crucial factor that set in motion the deadly chain of events. Section 8. Preventing another Helios Lessons Learned. The tragedy of Helios Flight 522 served as a stark reminder of the importance of even the smallest details in aviation safety. In the wake of the disaster, aviation authorities around the world implemented a series of recommendations to prevent similar incidents from occurring. Changes to pilot training, maintenance procedures, and the design of cockpit warning systems were implemented to address the factors that contributed to the crash. The goal was clear: to ensure that the lessons learned from Helios Flight 522 would prevent another tragedy. Section 9. The Human Element, a Chain of Errors. The crash of Helios Flight 522 was not solely the result of a single technical malfunction. It was a tragic convergence of multiple factors, each compounding the other, leading to an inevitable disaster. The investigation revealed that a series of human errors, systemic failures, and overlooked details all played a crucial role in the catastrophe. It was a tragic convergence of human error, systemic failures, and a chain of events that spiraled out of control. The initial technical issue was just the beginning. The real tragedy unfolded as a series of missteps and miscommunications cascaded into a full-blown crisis. Each error, seemingly minor on its own, combined to create a situation that was beyond recovery. The misplaced switch was the catalyst, but it was the human element that ultimately sealed the fate of those on board. The switch, which controlled the pressurization system, was left in the wrong position. This seemingly small oversight had catastrophic consequences. The pilots, unaware of the switch's position, were left to deal with a rapidly deteriorating situation. The pilots, confused by the alarms and struggling to communicate, failed to recognize the root cause of the problem. They were bombarded with warning signals and alarms, each one adding to their confusion. In the chaos, they were unable to diagnose the issue correctly. Their training and experience were not enough to overcome the overwhelming situation they faced. The maintenance crew, perhaps rushed or complacent, overlooked the critical position of the pressurization switch. Their routine checks and procedures failed to catch this vital error. In the high-pressure environment of aircraft maintenance, even a small lapse in attention can have dire consequences. This oversight was a key factor in the chain of events that led to the crash. This tragic sequence of events highlighted the importance of vigilance, communication, and a deep understanding of aircraft systems in aviation safety. It underscored the need for rigorous training and strict adherence to safety protocols. Every member of the aviation team, from pilots to maintenance crews, plays a crucial role in ensuring the safety of flights. Their actions, or inactions, can mean the difference between life and death. The legacy of Helios Flight 522 serves as a haunting reminder that even in a highly regulated and technologically advanced industry, the human element remains a critical factor in preventing tragedies. The lessons learned from this disaster have led to changes in training, procedures, and safety measures. The aviation industry continues to evolve, driven by the need to prevent such tragedies from happening again. By learning from the mistakes of the past, the aviation industry strives to create a safer future, one where the skies are a little less silent, and the memories of those lost on that fateful day serve as a constant call for vigilance and unwavering commitment to safety. The improvements made in response to this tragedy are a testament to the industry's dedication to protecting lives and ensuring that such a chain of errors is never repeated.